Hi guys, my name is Tanner Farley and I'm doing a presentation on airworthiness of the aircraft. What I like to look is in the FAR aim. It gives you a good solid foundation of what you think you'll need and what you actually do need. FAR 47.31 states, no one can operate an aircraft until it is registered, meaning it is registered with the FAA and registered to a person. As the registered owner of an aircraft, FAR 91.403 makes you responsible for maintaining the aircraft in an airworthy condition. So, say you're going flying and the FAA releases an airworthiness directive for your aircraft stating you cannot fly this airplane until this is fixed. You have to have that fixed. Airworthy directives are mandatory for flying. A way I'd like to remember that your aircraft is airworthy is by an acronym of AERO. AERO stands for airworthiness, certificate. You have to have this certificate on your aircraft when you are flying. It is mandatory. The next letter, R, stands for registration license certificate. Your registration certificate, it actually does require you to renew it after 3 years. It expires of 3 years of the month that it was registered. The next one is R, but this is kind of a toss-up if you are not flying internationally. It is a radio operating certificate. You only need this when you are going out of the country, going international flights. The O is for your operating handbook. This operating handbook comes with your aircraft when it's manufactured. You have to have the original operating handbook that is for your specific plane you are flying. You cannot use, say you're flying a 1973 Cessna 172 Lima. You cannot be using the 2006 Cessna 172 Kilo operating handbook. You have to have the one that's for your aircraft. The W is for weight and balance. The weight and balance will actually change when you are making alterations to your aircraft. So say you are flying and an airworthiness directive says this instrument is no longer available for you to fly with. You have to get it switched out. So say you take the old GPS and take a new GPS and swap it in. It's not going to weigh the same. So you have to get a weight and balance on it after every time you make an alteration to the airplane. Just making sure that it's perfectly within its limits and so you know what the aircraft's limits are. So make sure you have all this when you're actually flying the airplane. That's how it's airworthy. Also, the pilot in command is responsible before every flight to determine if the aircraft is airworthy. Now, it is the owner's responsibility to get the maintenance done. So if pilot in command says this isn't airworthy, you can't fly that day. You'll have to have a mechanic check it out and see why he said it wasn't airworthy, and then it will need to be taken care of if it's not airworthy. one thing that will make your airworthiness certificate become invalid is if you have structural a structural failure, or say you total your aircraft. That's like one of the big things that's just going to make your airworthiness certificate not valid anymore. Well, thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope this helped.